Are you receiving signal?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Cool. Hi, I'm Chris Batten. I play bass in Enter Shikari.
I'm Lewis. I handle playback monitors and on stage keys and
Pretty much everything.
pretty much everything. Yeah.
So today we're just going to talk you through our setup, basically. So it falls on my shoulders mainly to actually program our Ableton session. We've got all kinds going on here, so obviously there's a little bit of audio going on. But the main thing we really use Ableton for is our MIDI network that's firing across all the stage. So here we've got all of our temper MIDI commands, which we do program changes for different patches, which negates the need for foot pedals or pedal boards or anything like that. Any of our samples, so for example, I've got some drum pads that I hit. We store all of the samples on the laptop, and we just use a MIDI note to trigger them via a drum rack. We've got things like a nudge track, we call it, which is routed only into our in-ears. So if there's a part of a song coming up that we're struggling to remember, or something that we need to be doing on stage or thinking about, quite often we send little Rory reminders to tune to a different tuning, that kind of thing. Also, all of the keyboard parts, so all of our synths, everything like that is all split into different, I call it Massive because we used to almost exclusively use Massive, but now we're using quite a few different, we're using Serum, quite a few others. So we've got them all just loaded onto instrument racks, which, depending on where you are in the session, obviously switches to a new sound. But again, all housed within Ableton. We use 2 laptops for a redundancy system, which is controlled by the Play Audio right there. So if we have an issue with one of the laptops, it automatically detects that a test tone has been lost and switches automatically over to the next one, which is peace of mind.
It's very useful.
Like when you rely so heavily on when you rely so heavily on Ableton firing all of your pedal changes, everything like that, you need to be safe in the knowledge that if something happens with one of the laptops, you're going to have a backup to cross over to. The other thing we started doing more recently is vocal processing. Fire out MIDI information from the main playback laptop over to here. You can see we've got different instances where we use vocal synth a lot. So yeah, it just controls all of that kind of stuff. It allows us to actually put live processing onto the vocals. And then the other thing we changed to recently is we started using AbleSet, which is a really handy tool. We used to have it because we like our drummer to be able to select the songs because he can see everyone when we're ready. So I used to have just like a sample pad basically, and really I would assign the locators in Ableton to a certain MIDI note, and he would then select the tracks based on that, and we would write the song names on the pads. However, since we've started using AbleSet, it's made things a lot easier for us, because basically we can, if I wanted to not play a song in the set list, because I like to have them all. That's one song, next song's going to be this button, next song's, where I would have to go and remark everything because we wouldn't want Rob bringing in the wrong song or whatever. Whereas with this, like, the editing system is just fantastic. So I make one edit on here, it's automatically done on here, it's automatically done over at Rob's iPad. We also use the locator setting as well, whereas before, because we have quite a lot of tracks where they run fluidly into one another, it would require normally quite a lot of programming if we wanted to make a change, whereas I can just put now a blank locator into the end of where we want to switch, and AbleSet will automatically see that and take me to the next song. So it's very handy for jumping around in the session when you've got multiple songs in one session. So yeah, that is a brief overview of what we do. Guess we can take you around the stage.
Yeah, so the way that we connect everything together, so we have the Play Audio 12 as kind of like the main hub of everything really. That's all networked in, so we're running 2 different networks. We have a MIDI network, which is all of the iConnectivity stuff networked together. So each member on stage has their own Myo or XL or XM, which basically enables us to throw Cat5 out onto stage. So there's 3 different Cat5 lines onto stage. They get hooked into each Myo, and then that enables us to give us DIN in and out and USB at various different points on stage. So we have the 2 Play Audios. We're on spare at the moment, just because one of them is just giving us a little issue, and then we use just the radial to switch between the 2 units. And yeah, it's just another level of redundancy. You know, we like to, you know, make sure that we're not having to order stuff out on the road and stuff. We bring everything with us, and actually, it's kind of useful that we bought a second one along, really.
Yeah.
Chris, have I shown you my button before?
Only a couple of times, yeah. I think this was literally at the beginning of this tour, didn't you? You were just going through some drawers, and he's pulled out this, and his eyes have lit up.
Yeah.
So this now controls Able Set. Just simple, really. Back, next, stop, and go.
So this is all from the MIDI mapping function as well. That's available in Able Set. Very useful. You could just use a mouse, but where's the fun?
Why would you?
Why would you do that?
And our drummer's getting a lot of joy coming because he gets to push the button to start the show, and he has to press it at a very specific point because our singer's on stage delivering, like, I guess, an a cappella version of the first song. So he has to be quite precise when he presses it, and he's loving having a big green button to do it. So this is keyboard station number 1. This is just a very simple MIDI keyboard. So when we use this one for the ones that we want to control the patches that are stored on the computer. We've got a sample pad here that we're just using as like a drum pad, really, so to be able to play certain samples. And this is a new little toy, which is the Korg, and this is we're using this as just an analog synth, actually. So this one doesn't get routed into that output or anything like that. Yeah, just a fun thing for Rory or Rao to be able to play. Over at Drum World.
Yeah, we maybe go around the back of drums because that's where you can see the Myo. Like I said, like, everything that we have is all it's all networked in. So we just basically have that network switch sitting over there, and we just throw in 3 Cat5s, 1 out to each station. Everything gets networked in like so, and then that enables us to take MIDI DIN. So this one at the moment is literally just doing the SPDS, but we have lots of
room for expansion.
Lots of.
So I'm Georgia, I'm the drum tech, and over here we have an iPad which Rob can trigger the songs from. Basically have all of the set here, and then we have some MIDI here. We're just changing the patches for the SPD. But it's super helpful, Rob having it here and Louis having it over there.
Cool. And then there's your last station as well, isn't it?
So again, quite a similar setup, really. We've got the one MIDI keyboard, which we use to control all our VSTs on Ableton. These are a new addition. So these are basically just set to, they've got a MIDI note on each one of them. And I just use varying different drum racks, load the samples I need on the correct MIDI note, and then I just turn on the tracks as and when we need them. So that's all very simple. So this is there just basically as a brain to be able to talk to Ableton. And and then another analog synth which doesn't hit Ableton. It's just a straight DI.
That Myo XL that I was talking about as well lives in this guy here. So again, it's just a power and data out to each spot. That rack powers all of this as well. The Myo XL lives in there, and then there's just a rack mountable DI that takes audio from the analog synth And it's the same with the other side on station 1 as well, with the microKORG as well. It's just a DI, essentially just going down to our line system.
So yeah, one other thing to mention is our timecode channel. Basically, so we send timecode information from the Play Audio over to our lighting desk and into our screen servers. And what this enables us to do is be able to precisely cue video and lighting points. And yeah, so basically once we make some content, we line it up with the timecode so we know wherever we are in that song, the video is going to be perfectly in sync with the music, as well as all the lighting cues and everything like that. So yeah, it's kind of revolutionised things for us. From when things started for us back in the day, it was a case of our lighting designer having to hit buttons at the right time, whereas now it's a lot more technical and concise, shall we say.
So this is Guitar World here, and won't talk too much about the Kempers, but there is a Mayo XL living inside there. Again, just another Cat 5 from Playback World there. Multiple DINs coming out of that to each Kemper as well. And again, you plug everything in, everything kicks up, you see everything in Oracle, and you're good to go. So the show is essentially plug and play. Takes a little bit of setting up, making sure that all your network's right, but once you get to that point, you rock up to a new show, plug everything in, everything sees each other, hopefully, and you're good to go. So we have Axient coming in. We just invested into a new Axient system here. That brings signal down from stage, then feeds into these radials here, which enables us to switch guitars as well. So we got Rory at the top here, that switches between his main and spare guitars. We've got Chris down here as well, that switches between his 4 and 5 string bass. And then they are feeding into both Kempers at the same time. We have the backtrack here as well, that enables us to basically switch between main and spare guitar. So we just have 2 XLRs that come out the back of that, actually into this. So both of these feed into this guy, and then that enables us to input select main and spare there. Chris is a little bit more simple. If his main goes down, then we just automatically just switch it. So we could do with another one of those, actually. This is Rao's Kemper as well. We don't bring it with us onto every tour, but he's playing guitar with us on a few songs on this as well. And again, another Axient, and that's even more basic. There's no switching going on or anything. That's it. So this is, yeah, you got a switcher for inputs, output switching, and a hell of a lot of Kempers.